And I would like to introduce those speakers. Agrokoncern Director General, Mr. Donatas Dailydė, Dojus Agro Director General, and Julius Puodžiuvelis, Scandagra Baltic General Director General. Welcome to this forum. Thank you for joining us. And I would like to start from the overall question, how business changed in 2020. Whether this influenced business. Let me start from Edgaras Šakys. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to take part in this sector and what is happening. As regards COVID-19, the Lithuanian the 3 years were very difficult, were not really favorable for plants, but despite good financial results, we see that our farmers are not have not recovered. As regards our harvest, Lithuania has grown a record harvest, as our figures say, and having calculated chemical harvest composition can be established in the laboratories. And if we were to assess 8 million tons of the rapeseed harvest and also other type of harvest, as far as I know and as far as I can calculate, the used fertilizers, the contribution amount to 80%. We have to speak about sustainable farming, look after the soil, but the figures speak about themselves. When we speak about the Green Deal, we need to reduce the contributions to plant protection materials, and we see the reverse figure, and I believe that the state itself should calculate how we need to move forward. Well, another thing that we would get a lot from this resilience fund, this is the declaration, but whether our agri-food sector receive that, it's great that awareness reasons and education will get this amount of money, but will it help to train more farmers, agriculture specialists? The challenge will be to use digitalization. If we were to look at this use and investment should be assessed as a separate industry. If we think about this investment, as the colleagues mentioned, where the big question is, to what extent our farmers need that? How can we transform our knowledge and investment into the life of our farmers? we speak one thing, but our agricultural activity and agricultural sector is on another level, and they need different things. Let me ask Donatas Dailydė the same thing. I'm very happy to be here in the forum. I think these topics are very timely and very relevant. I would like to reiterate what Edgaras said. Agricultural cycle is different from that of the economic one. And if we were to look at the COVID effects to our overall economy, the dynamics is that much different. The businesses were quite ready for the second wave. The undistributed profit was bigger. So credit use reduced, so the psychological readiness was there for the crisis. The story in the agricultural sector is different. In the last 3 years, they experienced crisis. Harvests were record low due to unfavorable environmental conditions. The agriculture was already experiencing difficulties. It's great that this harvest is better, more. So next and the year after that, I think, will be better. The second thing that needs to be mentioned, the debt of farms is smaller than in the neighboring countries. So we are in favor of the more conservative activity, but not too conservative. There are all the conditions to actually expand in other countries. So there are chances that quite big farms would expand into other countries. And this is very relevant in agriculture, socialization, new context. So I think we will see the results in the development of agriculture. We will be using distant online competences, and Lithuanians in all business areas are thirsty and entrepreneurial. How has business changed, Mr. Julius, in those years? And has it changed? Thank you very much. Has business changed? Yes, businesses change and adapt to the current environment. If we were to assess this year, I think this year were exceptional and favorable for our businessmen. We work in the area which is very dependent on the weather, and this factor influences a lot on our results. And the weather is unpredictable; it's very difficult to predict. We are living at the times of pandemics. Well, companies and farmers wouldn't have survived hadn't we have those initial primary technologies and the relationship with our clients, with farmers. The results have not suffered from that. So we can just say that our farmers were more ready or more forced to work under different conditions, and we had to find new ways to work. And quite a lot of our work are in farms, communicating with the farmer, the manager of the farm. And this relationship should have had to be changed, safeguarded by the client and by our worker. So we managed to adapt, and the weather helped us. Thank you very much. I've sent you times. We had a mini discussion before this discussion, and there was an idea there that agro-business is not experiencing digitalization overall. Why is that so? Why digitalization is not coming to some sectors, whether we lack technologies, qualifications? Mr. Edgaras, maybe you can tell us. We face such problems every day, almost every day. It's been 3 years since we adopted the agro program, and we try to disseminate it among the farmers. We have the consumers, but not in thousands. So the question is, we need to make them interested. We need to have certain areas. This year has been good. Why has it happened like that? The technologies have to be learned, how to be managed. And if we are getting bigger harvest in one place than in another, they have to be interested, zealous, and embark on new technologies and innovations, and assess which of them are really useful. And if we want to be a smart society, we have to contribute a lot. Sometimes people say that I am fine as I am, and I'm fine with a paper registry. Others have smarter technologies. Some 2 or 3 or even more percent defects are detected on the Lithuanian farms. We need to assess what is that. So 2 or 3% from 800 million tons is about 30 million in terms of additional funding. Can everybody do this? This is a simple question, I think. We had to learn. We had to learn something from the very outset. We have e-signature. We don't need to go somewhere. And COVID told us how to work. And amongst farmers, we need to wish for better things. We need to pressure maybe farmers. We used to use incentives, soft pressure, not hard pressure. And in terms of remuneration, Mr. Donatas, why this digitalization in different areas is not reaching its consumers? Well, I think digitalization is not a distant future. It's an inseparable part and the strategy of every business. In Lithuania, in agriculture, we have a huge opportunity. Implementing such solutions, that would mean more sustainable, profitable farms that would be environment friendly, and more in terms of production would have a better quality production. So the benefit is for all. In Lithuania, we have quite big farms. The big farms are the first ones that want to make use of the technologies, make the work more efficient. So the implementation of technologies and the conditions for them are good. As regards the desire to use them, what do we see? The range here is big. There are farms that need technologies, not a lot of them. Some farms want to use all the possible technologies, and there are certain farms that want even more, develop the other technologies. Some farms have not been tested. Well, technologies shouldn't be developed for the sake of technologies. They should serve our clients. This is the main thing. As regards smart agriculture, it's inseparable from sustainability. And sustainability with better resources also helps us to preserve the soil. We have a good soil in Lithuania, which is one of the resources, and with the help of technologies, we could use it better by generating better added value and to preserving it better. And efficiency could be left for the future generations. As of next year, we have a smart agricultural division with 7 people working there. We would propose our technologies related to efficient use of technology and the research of soil, telemetric research, problem detection, and in terms of such solutions together with partners and suppliers, we're implementing artificial intelligence elements. So we are, just to generalize, I would like to say that the value for the customer is most important of all technological solutions.
And then Mr. Julius, we could switch to the next question, but it's very similar as well. What could help solve the lack of digital solutions? We know that now we are getting a money shower from the EU, the DNA plan, although we have just heard that this part is going to be very small. So is the additional money going to help with the digitalization, or is it the main shortage? Well, I will try to look at this from a different perspective. Maybe not everything can always be solved with money. First of all, there has to be a wish to digitize. Companies are more willing to do this than farmers. Another problem that farmers are facing today is related with the supply. They don't have, their tractors are not all of the same color. They have several suppliers as well. And in this case, we are all offering and finding different solutions, and it's not always that farmers are able to select and find their bearings in all of this variety of solutions. So the general solutions that could unite everything and overarch over everything would help farmers realize what they need most. Well, as regards farmers, they find it really difficult to select the right solution for them, although there are offers on the supply side. Maybe consultation services or other farmers could help here. Farmer organizations could help find the solution. Maybe this would help them find the unified way forward, because digital technologies are expensive to buy and expensive to train, and then especially expensive once you worked with one technology, change it with another, because the data cannot always be shared among different systems that are used. And here we have a problem. And it's not us alone who are facing this problem, because globally, everybody sees the agriculture sector as a huge potential where the industry 4.0 change should happen. There is a lot of data, and we all agree that there is still a lot of untapped potential also in economic terms. We have resources, and technologies would help here indeed. But we also have the fact that there are many players who want to join this game, and farmers sometimes get lost in this variety of solutions, possible solutions. Thank you. And very briefly, I would like to ask you all a last question. Mr. Edgaras said that there is a problem with new specialists. We've all heard during this discussion that one of the problems is that what about the digital technologies? What if we don't have the specialists who know how to work with that? So let me ask, is private business also ready to cooperate or encourage the Lithuanian education system so that young people find new talents and are eager to study in agro-business? And how can private business contribute to that? And what is being done? So, Mr. Edgaras, please, let's begin with you. Thank you for your question. Indeed, a lot has been done already. For more than 10 years, we have been working together with the Stulginskis University. We have been doing joint projects. We are talking about what specialists will be needed in the future, and we ask them to prepare those specialists. Now, I understand, as has been mentioned today and tomorrow, the money through DNA and other structures will be coming to education as well. So I understand that there will be updates, and agriculture specialists will be more adapted and trained to work with these smart tools. Today, I understand that students will go back to their towns and villages and will teach their neighbors and friends what to do. From what I know, young people are very curious, very clever, and computer has become part and parcel of their lives. And here, as I see it, we have a very beautiful future. I see how university students are interested and administration are interested in how they can help, how they can adapt the studies to that. And we are very grateful for that. Thank you, Mr. Edgaras. Mr. Donatas, what are your ideas? I believe that this is a critical point, the cooperation between the business and the education systems. On the one hand, business will not be able to prepare all the necessary specialists alone. On the other hand, universities cannot understand all the needs by themselves without talking to the business. So the partnership and the cooperation is especially important. We have been cooperating with the Vytautas Magnus University and the Academy of Agriculture, and we have recently joined a cluster where we demonstrate to students in practice how technologies work, what can be done with them, and we try to add the practical side of how to use smart technologies. So I believe that this area is inevitably important. Another thing is, in order to attract people to work in this sector, it is very important to demonstrate this sector from another perspective, that it is not a lagging behind sector, that there are new initiatives and new ideas, and there are plenty of opportunities to achieve a lot in this sector. So I believe that only by cooperating with business and education we can achieve this. And Mr. Julius, what are your ideas? Well, very briefly, I could add that we are also working with the academy, but in broader terms, the area where we could all contribute, also by participating in this forum, and to reinforce the name of and prestige of the Lithuanian agriculture, because this area is indeed important and interesting. And I see from my own colleagues whom we managed to attract from other sectors that everybody is admiring us and the dynamics. We are working all in bright and modern offices or at home, depending on the situation, but it's a dynamic sector. And when we compare ourselves to the Scandinavian countries, there the prestige of agriculture is much higher. And in this area, in the broader sense, I believe that we have a room for improvement. We have to increase the value of the industry of agriculture. This would help us attract more talented students and people and professionals. And of course, we have to cooperate among ourselves and with the academic institutions in order to achieve better results. Wonderful. Thank you all very much for this wonderful discussion, for your interesting ideas. And we have to learn and learn again. This is very important, not only at universities, but also in the field. We have to learn everywhere and all the time. And that is my wish to you all. So thank you.